Welcome. Let me ask you a question. Would you like more business and sales through networking? And let me ask you another question. Would you like super people reading powers in order to get that? So let's think, where are you right now? I mean, maybe you feel like you're pretty good at networking and you're getting the leads that you want. Or maybe you're thinking, I'm really good with people, but I don't quite get as many leads as I'd like. Or maybe you're thinking, do you know what, I really find networking actually quite scary. Or maybe you're thinking, why do we even need to do it like this? Why can't we just do it all through social media? Well, let's imagine you were doing networking, but in a way that you were getting even more leads than you could handle. Imagine that you were getting all of those leads in a friendly way that was fun. And imagine that in actual fact you felt really confident in your approach to networking. Or picture that networking was a task that you excelled in. Well, you've probably got strategies for dealing with networking as you do at the moment. But there's an old saying, isn't there? If you always do what you've always done, you'll always get what you've always got. So doesn't it make sense that to get from where you are to where you want to be, you might need new strategies? Indeed, doesn't it make sense that to get from where you are to where you want to be, you might need those super people reading skills? So let me ask you to engage in a little task with me. And I'd like to do a scenario based around a couple of questions. And what I want you to do is, when I ask you these questions, put yourself in a place where you're in a normal day-to-day situation, in your normal work or business situation. Okay, so first and foremost, what I'd like to ask you is if you could all stand up, okay, and now move to the back of the room, please, if you think you're fast, outpaced going, and move to the front of the room if you think you're more reserved and more considered. Okay, so we've now got people in two ends of the room. These are fast-paced, outgoing people. These are more considered and reserved. What I'd like you to actually do now is move over to this side of the room if you think you're task orientated, and move over to that side of the room if you think you're more people orientated. And now what you can see we've got is 4 groups of people, and these are the 4 quadrants of DISC. Over here we've got D, which is your dominant, drivers, your determined doers. These are your fast-paced, remember, task-orientated. And then over here we have I, which is your inspirational influencers, highly interactive, really like to engage with people. Remember, they're the fast-paced, people-orientated. And then down here we've got S, which is steady, supportive, like status quo and like security. These, remember, are your reserved but very people orientated, highly supportive. These are the glue that hold your team together. Over here you have your C, which is, remember, these are considered, reserved, but very task orientated. So C is your conscientious, capable, highly competent. The real experts, the people who are really into the planning and the detail. So what does that mean in terms of networking? Well, if we look at them again, then we'll see that these are the drivers. Remember I said fast, want to get from A to B as quickly as possible. They want to get to your bottom line. They're the ones who are going to come across as quite often as maybe a bit bullish, a bit bull in a china shop. These are the ones who want to be in control and they want to get what they want to get now. And in your eyes, these are the ones who are highly member interactive, very friendly, very people focused. These are the ones who like to talk a lot. They'll be milling around, meeting lots and lots of people. Maybe what you think about as the social butterfly. And your S's can be more reserved, remember. not so good at maybe putting themselves forward, meeting new people, but great listeners. These are the real empathetic people. These are the people who are really good at building deep relationships. And then you see, remember, task orientated, a bit reserved, can come across sometimes as maybe a wee bit distant, a bit cold, like to do things properly, like to do things by the rules, they like to do things in a particular way, and therefore can actually find this people interactive kind of networking sometimes quite difficult. So what's the learning points here for people? Well, I think the key learning points are that there's a potential here for us all to be losing business. Losing quite a lot of business actually. When you think about our D's over here, very active, very in your face, very kind of, for some people, aggressive. They could potentially be chasing away almost 50% of business over here for people who can find that too dominating. And then you've got your I's, who are highly interactive, driven by fun and recognition. Again, because of that dynamicness, can actually chase away people from over this side of the room who potentially, because they're more reserved, because they like things a bit more paced, can feel that too frenetic. Your S's, because of that sort of more reserved approach, can come across actually to some people over here as maybe a wee bit slow and a wee bit holding back, and that can frustrate people over there who then just go away and get business elsewhere. So a potential to lose 50% of business over here. And your C's, likewise, because of that distant coldness and kind of aloofness, can push away quite a lot of people over this side of the room who are much more people orientated. So there's a real potential here that all of us are losing at least 50% of potential business because of not being aware and not adapting our personality styles to those that we're dealing with. If we look at that in the context of when people buy, we can see that we all have different times when we buy. Your D's, your dominants, fast paced, remember, they will make a decision extremely quickly. They will decide, I'm going to buy, and therefore they will assume other people make that kind of decision. I's, also very quick, but remember, they like to engage, like to interact with people, therefore take a wee bit longer, but still very quick. And then your S's are going to take longer to think about, that buying, and think about whether they really want to interact with that person and have that, whatever that buying is. However, they're likely to want to go away and think about it before they come back and actually make the decision. That has real implications when you think these quick moving people at this point quite often can turn off and think that the S's are not interested, when in actual fact they've gone away just simply to think. So these are then wishing on to the next potential customer, and so losing potentially that customer. And then when you think about the C's will go all the way around to here. And then they'll go away for some contemplation. They'll probably then want to do some research, come back and talk to you. And then they'll probably want to do some more thinking before they make the decision. So for S's and C's, who take much longer to make decisions, and D's and I's, who take much shorter to make decisions, there can be a real disconnect. And so therefore, You have to change your perception of time. You have to slow it down for D's and I's and speed it up for the S's and C's. So one last task, what I'd like you all to do is you can come into your 4 groups, D, I, S, C, and I'd like all of you just to take one step closer to me. And that is all it takes, one step closer to your potential customers. So let me leave you with one last point. Do not try and change the world. Change yourself by one step and the world will respond. Thank you.